This week, the Springfield community remembers Evangel student athlete Devrin King, who was struck and killed in a motorcycle crash. Hello and welcome to Ozarks News Brief. I'm Dylan Durrington.
And I'm Ryan Smith. The accident happened near the corner of Glenstone Avenue and Chestnut Expressway. That's where we find Ozarks News Brief reporter Kinsey Darst, who is at the scene this morning. She joins us with the latest.
Yes, I am standing over here at the corner of Chestnut Expressway and Glenstone Avenue, where on Thursday, March 30th, at approximately 3:08 p.m., officers at the Springfield Police Department were reported on scene for a traffic crash. 18-year-old Devrin King was driving his Yamaha motorcycle after leaving his last class at Evangel University. As he was driving down at the corner right behind me, there was a Ford Explorer Sport that was crossing on the southbound lanes on Glenstone Avenue. King suddenly struck the vehicle and immediately just was reported as a death on the scene. First responders did everything that they could, life-saving measures to help save King's life. Unfortunately, he did pass. There was a memorial held on Wednesday in remembrance of King's life. He was a beloved friend, athlete, and student. This has been reported as the 10th traffic death since the beginning of 2023. I'm Kinsey Darst reporting live for Ozarks News Brief.
Thanks, Kinsey. Well, it's something we've never seen before in the United States. A former president sitting at the defense table charged with nearly 36 crimes. Mike Valero has more from New York.
Former President Donald Trump made history Tuesday and turned down his first chance to talk about it.
How did you plead, President Trump? How did you plead?
Trump silently passing cameras after solemnly appearing in Manhattan criminal court. The 45th president of the United States charged with 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. He pleaded not guilty to each one, with his attorney vowing to fight.
He's frustrated, he's upset, but I'll tell you what, he's motivated.
Prosecutors allege in court documents the former president orchestrated an unlawful scheme to influence the 2016 presidential election.
At its core, this case today is one with allegations like so many of our white-collar cases. Allegations that someone lied again and again to protect their interests and evade the laws to which we are all held accountable.
Many Republicans responded to the indictment by criticizing Bragg. Even Republican Senator Mitt Romney, who said in a statement Trump's character and conduct make him unfit for office. He believes Bragg stretched to reach felony criminal charges in order to fit a political agenda. Trump was fingerprinted. Then after his arraignment, he was free to leave, flying back to Mar-a-Lago and thanking his supporters.
I never thought anything like this could happen in America. Never thought it could happen. The only crime that I have committed is to fearlessly defend our nation from those who seek to destroy it.
In New York, I'm Mike Valerio.
Now to local government, where Springfield residents headed to the poll this week to cast their votes in a number of races. April elections took place on Tuesday. Missouri State University served as one of the 4 central polling sites. Other central polling sites included Mercy Hospital, City Utilities Transit Center, and Cox South. We now turn to the results from some of the big races this week. One of those was a hotly contested race for Springfield mayor between incumbent Ken McClure and challenger Melanie Bach. With 53% of the vote, McClure will remain as Springfield's mayor for the next 2 years.
Among the uncontested races in Zones 1 and 2, candidates battled it out for the Zone 3 council seat. There were also several general council seats up for grabs. The winner in each of these races will serve a 4-year term. In the race for Zone 3, featuring development planner Brandon Jensen and retired Springfield police officer David Noakes, Brandon Jensen wins with 54% of the vote. In the race for General Seat C, features newcomers Callie Carroll and Jeremy Dean. Callie Carroll wins with 55% of the vote. And in the race for General Seat D, featuring newcomers Derek Lee and Bruce Adebyazdi, Derek Lee wins with 52% of the vote.
In the race for Springfield School Board, voters had a chance to pick 2 candidates. One candidate, Sharita Thomas Tate, is the incumbent. The other 3 candidates are newcomers, with 28 and 25% of the vote, respectively. Judy Bruner and Sharita Thomas Tate will be your next school board members. Both candidates will serve a 3-year term. Thomas Tate beat Landon McCarter by 274 votes. Voters also decided on a number of questions on Tuesday's ballot. One of them involved a $220 million school bond issue. With 78% of the vote, the bond is approved. With the passage, the district will build a new Reed Middle School at its current location and a new Pipkin Middle School to be located on East Pythian. The bond will also fund enhancements at several other area schools.
Voters also took up question 3, which involves the city's hotel-motel tax. Springfield voters passed question 3 with 66% of the vote. With this passage, there will now be a tax on short-term rentals, such as Airbnbs. In addition, proceeds will be used to promote travel and tourism, as well as the promotion and hosting of sporting events. With Easter right around the corner, Springfield has some exciting events for family and friends to get into the spirit. On Saturday, the Discovery Center of Springfield is hosting an indoor egg hunt. Admission is free, and not only are there fun prizes in store, but a little bit of science fun as you hunt for eggs. Now, Ryan, I'm pretty excited about this egg hunt. Do you think you're going to go ahead and do it this weekend?
Sadly, Dylan, I'm going to be out of town, but as you mentioned, that sounds very exciting, so I won't be able to attend. But
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. Up next on Ozarks News Brief, the founder of Cash App is found dead. We'll have details on the investigation. Also, job openings are declining in the U.S. and find out how LeBron James and Tiger Woods are breaking records outside of their sport.
we'll be back after the break. You're watching Ozarks News Brief.
The number of available jobs in the U.S. dropped in February. This according to a new report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. A survey shows job numbers are near what they were in May of 2021. Experts say the number of new hires decreased and the number of those quitting also increased. The labor market has remained historically tight as the Federal Reserve works to bring down inflation through a series of interest rate hikes. Bob Lee, the founder of Cash App, was found stabbed to death early Tuesday morning. Officers responded to a reporting of a stabbing in the city's Rincon Hill neighborhood. He was then transported to the hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. No arrests have been made. Police say the investigation is ongoing.
A teacher shot by a 6-year-old student is suing the Virginia School District for gross negligence. The legal filing reveals details about the student's past behavior. She also recounts the events of that near-death tragedy. Ellen Ice has her story.
The lawsuit claims this: repeated behavioral problems at school starting from the boy's kindergarten year. According to the lawsuit, the boy choked and strangled his kindergarten teacher. He was removed from Rich Neck but was allowed to return by administrators for the 2022-2023 school year under modified supervision, meaning a parent had to be with him during the day. The lawsuit alleges that several school board members, the former assistant principal, the former principal, and former superintendent all should be held accountable for gross negligence for the events leading up to January 6th, as well as for the shooting on that day. The principal's attorney released a statement today saying they're exploring a countersuit against Werner. Pamela Branch, who represents Brianna Foster Newton, says it's been brought to her attention that another student warns Werner that the student had a gun. Branch claims Werner told the student to sit down and be quiet. Branch said, quote, "If this is true, Ms. Werner may have been able to avoid the injuries she suffered, and this will certainly impact her claimed damages." Branch said her client was never told about this. Here's what Branch said earlier this year.
The fact of the matter is that those who were aware that the student may have had a gun on the premises that day did not report this to Ms. Newton at all.
The lawsuit claims on the day of the shooting, several staff members reported to the assistant principal that the boy had a gun and was in, quote, a violent mood, and the assistant principal did not contact authorities or have the student searched. Just before the end of the school day, the court documents say the boy pulled a gun from his pocket and shot Zwerner while she was sitting at her reading table. Police say the bullet went through her hand and into her chest. I reached out to Zwerner's attorneys. Here's what they said. Quote, "The Newport News School Division had a duty to Abby, but they failed her miserably that day. As a result of their inaction, Abby was shot by a 6-year-old student, and she will never be the same. She has endured 4 surgeries and still has a bullet lodged inside her. In addition to holding the school division accountable for its failures, this lawsuit is a means to deliver justice for Abby in this tragic but entirely preventable situation.
House Democrats say they are unanimously against the expulsion and will fight against it if it reaches the floor. President Biden is going to get some competition for the Democratic nomination from one of the most powerful names in American politics. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has filed paperwork with the Federal Election Commission to run for the Democratic nomination for president. The 69-year-old environmental lawyer and anti-vaccine activist said in March he was considering a run. He said his top priority will be to end the corrupt merger between state and corporate power. Kennedy is the son of former New York Senator and Attorney General who has shared his name. Robert Kennedy Sr. was assassinated in 1968. RFK Jr. is also the nephew of late President John Kennedy.
Police arrest a man who drove a box truck into a terminal building in Houston, Texas.
The man stole the truck, then led police on a high-speed chase. Officials say he drove the truck inside an airport service road until it crashed against the Terminal B building. The incident did not impact operations or passengers at the airport.
When 2 kids heard about the Apollo Theater catastrophe in Belvidere, Illinois, they took some of their super friends of their own to protect the city.
Anthony Ferretti talks to the kids and their mom about how they hope this gesture can provide closure and the families impacted by this tragedy.
What do you hope that these superheroes can do for the city?
Help the Apollo Theater and save the day. Belvidere strong.
The news of the Apollo Theater collapse that left 1 person dead and dozens more injured didn't just impact adults, but these 2 brothers who wanted to do something for those impacted by Friday's tragedy.
To save the day and help the person that was hurt.
They brought several of their toys to the Kishwaukee River near the Apollo Theater to watch over the city of Belvidere on Saturday.
We just started to kind of like get nervous because we both feel real bad.
This one especially was super upset in the morning, felt almost sick to his stomach, he said. They got their ideas together and figured out instead of stuffed animals, because we normally do stuffed animals, we wanted to do superheroes.
These are our favorites and we wanted to give it to the person that was hurt.
The Thomas kids previously set up stuffed animals on 19th Street in Rockford, where Jordan Thomas, who is of no relation, was shot and killed almost 2 years ago. Their mom says she didn't expect them to do anything like this.
We got everything ready and hurried up and tried to get down here before it got too crowded, because it was a very busy scene down here. But I was super proud.
Despite this small gesture, Kayla Thomas couldn't believe the amount of people who have noticed what her kids have done for the city.
Basically that my kids touched them and that they also wanted to join in and everybody come together and be strong together.
Yeah, Dylan, a heartwarming story like that is just awesome, where, you see younger kids come together for the greater good of the community, that's just really heartwarming.
Absolutely. It's awesome to see the community come together in such a tragedy like that. Up next on Ozarks News Brief, here's the scene earlier from this morning from Hammond's Field as the Cardinals season kicks off tonight. Flowers are blooming and the sun is shining. Is summer coming faster than we think?
We'll be back after the break. You're watching Ozarks News Brief.
Weather seems to be coming out great here in this season. We've got some warm days and some cooler ones. I'm expecting temperatures to be around in the 50s is what it appears to be here. All the way up into 8 p.m. Yep, we're still staying in that 50-degree weather here. It looks like that things are going to go ahead and cool off a little bit more here. I am definitely looking forward to some warmer weather for sure. Looks like Thursday we get into the 60-degree territory. All the way into the weekend here, it's going to be about 71, 74. Looks like we got some showers on Monday. Lows in the 50s there on Monday as well. Coming up on Ozarks News Brief.
The Springfield Cardinals kick off their season tonight. We'll have the latest. MSU prepares for their upcoming spring game and find out which Academy Award winning film is going live.
We'll be back after the break. You're watching Ozarks News Brief.
Store the heart.
The Missouri State softball team is stuck in a trend, a winning trend that is. These Lady Bears can't be stopped. These amazing women are now on a 10-game win streak, posting a record of 19-15 with a 9-2 record in conference. And Springfield Cardinals baseball is back as opening day is here. Starting tonight, the Springfield Cardinals are back. The Cards will be going head-to-head with the Wichita Wind Surge starting at 6:35 p.m. Fans will also be entertained with an opening day fireworks show at the stadium. The Cards are also scheduled to play Wichita on Friday and Saturday this evening. Switching over to football, Missouri State Bears football is back. You can see some of Bear action as MSU will host their spring game on April 15th. The festivities will begin at 1 p.m. with a free on-field fan fest featuring a dunk tank, autographs, and games for all fans of all ages. Coach Ryan Beard has 83 players in camp this spring, which includes 75 returning players, 44 lettermen, and 10 starters. Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin's critical injury may have a life-changing impact on the sport. Hamlin has helped to coordinate CPR training and education courses as he started a foundation called the Smart Heart Sports Coalition. The goal is for more people to be prepared in case a situation arises where they need to act before it's too late. From greatest of all time to billionaires, the Forbes list has came out and 2 new familiar names have been added to the list. Famed basketball player LeBron James and Hall of Fame golfer Tiger Woods are now billionaires. It's well known that these athletes are well paid, but James and Woods are the first active athletes to reach billionaire status. And does the grind ever stop to Shelly Ann Fraser-Price? The answer is absolutely not. Olympic sprinter Fraser-Price made an appearance at her son's field day in Jamaica. When granted a chance to compete in a parents' short race, she didn't hesitate. The 10-time world title holder showed no mercy to her fellow parents, winning the short race by almost 20 yards.
I can't believe that sport, she went ahead and did that, and she's an Olympic medalist and just smoked the competition right there.
Yeah, it would be an unfortunate day to be a mom that day if you're going against a parents' race and you don't expect an Olympic gold medalist to be in the stands. So.
No way. Up next on Ozarks News Brief, find out why actor Dwayne Johnson is off to Hawaii.
Stay tuned. You're watching Ozarks News Brief.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
I guess after this E-Block story.
Dwayne Johnson, also known as the demigod Maui, went back to Hawaii to announce he'll return in a live-action version of the animated hit Moana. He'll also be a producer on the film. Johnson says he's proud of his Pacific Islander heritage, including his late grandfather, a wrestler known as the Flying Hawaiian.
Yeah, Dylan, I'm not too familiar with Manoa, but I am a huge Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson fan, so I'm sure if he's got any part of this film, it will be a good one.
Absolutely. I'm thinking it's going to be a great one. I can see how easy it would be for them to transition from animated to live action for this movie.
Yeah, and like I saw that he was actually going to be taking on a producing role instead of acting, so it'll definitely be interesting to see how that turns out.
Yeah, very exciting stuff to see that going for it. Well, that's going to do it for us today. I'm Dylan Durrington.
And I'm Ryan Smith. Thanks for watching, and remember, you can always follow us at ozarksnewsbrief.com. Have a great day.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see everything.